Chapter 2. Surgical mask and glove sales are on the rise as the novel supervirus claims 100 more lives here in the States and doesn't seem to be letting up. Throughout this crisis, we've seen both the good and the bad. The bad occurred when some of the medical equipment suppliers took advantage of the situation and drastically marked up their merchandise, committing price gouging. Some healthcare officials fear that because of these occurrences, it might lead to some serious shortages in PPE, or personal protective equipment. However, the CDC, the World Health Organization, and other medical agencies across the globe are on the case and hope to have this bug contained here soon. For now, everyone needs to take proper precautions when going out in public until this thing is gone, which includes washing your hands and maintaining communal distancing from fellow citizens. Matt Frankel, WGN-TV, Chicago. Near the 10 o'clock hour at the Peachtree Laboratories in American University Park, a section of Washington, D.C., Dr. Karl Albertson sat on a stool gazing into an electron microscope. A world-renowned scientist for his studies on infectious diseases, Dr. Albertson had been a student of immunology for 2 decades. Since the first cases of the novel supervirus emerged, medical experts at the CDC handpicked Dr. Albertson to assist them on a mitigation testing contact tracing plan as well as a vaccine. On a slide, Dr. Albertson studied the interaction of the novel supervirus strain and a healthy cell. He looked closely through his lens at various effects the intruding virus had on the host cell. A fellow scientist, Dr. Richard Martin, walked into the lab room and brushed by Dr. Albertson. "Still got your nose to the grindstone?" Dr. Martin commented. "Yes, this disease isn't going to cure itself," Dr. Albertson replied. "I flushed out those last 2 strains you mentioned," Dr. Martin said. "Good, now we can move on," Dr. Albertson said, still focused on the lens of his microscope. "See anything good there?" Dr. Martin asked. "Yes, it's quite fascinating." Dr. Martin looks at his watch. "It's getting late, Karl. Maybe we should pack up tonight and start fresh in the morning." "You can go ahead. I'm going to stay a while." "Very well then. I'll lock up everything else." Dr. Albertson switched slides on the base of the microscope using the same case study. He pulled out a recorder from his desk drawer and pressed play. "This is Dr. Karl Albertson on April 13, 2019 at 10:30 p.m. I reviewed 3 more subjects alone today, and like all the others, I found more traces of a rare type of arsenic. I have 5 more case studies to do by tomorrow, and the disease seems to..." The doctor's phone rang. He stopped the recording and picked up his phone. "Dr. Albertson here." "Time's running out, Doctor. We're going to need an answer from you," a mysterious voice said on the other end of the line. "I told you not to call me anymore. If you don't leave me alone, I'll go to the police. Do you hear me?" Dr. Albertson said. The mystery man hung up, leaving Dr. Albertson talking to himself. In a fit of rage, he slammed the phone down. Just before he left, Dr. Albertson stuffed the recorder and a notebook inside a compartment in the bottom drawer of his desk. Dr. Albertson stepped out of the elevator into the laboratory parking garage. He paused for a few seconds, glancing around the dim garage. The doctor's dress loafers click-clacked on the concrete with every step. Dr. Albertson could hear a patter-patter sound nearby, so he stopped walking and looked around. The patter-patter sound closed in as Dr. Albertson's turned his walk into a full-out sprint. He pulled his car key out of his pocket but fumbled it onto the ground below the car door. He bent over and picked the key up. A man appeared out of the darkness, startling Dr. Albertson. He gathered himself and refocused on the man's face, who ended up belonging to Ronald Delph, the head custodian for the lab. "Jesus," Dr. Albertson said, relieved. "Sorry I scared you, Doctor," Ronald said. "That's okay, Ronald. Is there anything I can help you with?" Ronald pulled a set of keys from his pocket and held it up. "I saw you coming out of your office and I noticed you dropped these." "Ah, yes, I definitely need these." "Thanks, Ronald. I appreciate this. I'll see you tomorrow then, Ronald." "Be safe, Doctor." Dr. Albertson drove out of the garage, keeping his eyes peeled in front of him and in the rearview mirror. Several blocks away, Dr. Albertson stopped at an intersection for a red light. Without a soul in sight at the intersection, Dr. Albertson began to tap his fingers on the steering wheel. He once again glanced in the rearview mirror. The light turned green, and the doctor slammed the accelerator to the floor, racing through the intersection. Suddenly, his car began to stall. Dr. Albertson pulled his dying car to the curb. He tried to restart his car, but it wouldn't turn over. The streets were empty. Dr. Albertson took out his cell phone and started to dial. Just as he put his cell phone to his ear, the doctor noticed a man dressed in a dark suit standing across the street. Dr. Albertson slowly lowered his phone as the AAA dispatcher answered. The doctor sat there frozen, making eye contact with the man. Dr. Albertson exited the car and ran down the street in the opposite direction. He cut through an adjacent street to a nearby park. Dr. Albertson found a line of tall bushes inside the park. Hiding behind one of the bushes, Dr. Albertson kneeled. The mystery man walked up to the bushes. Several feet away from the bush Dr. Albertson hid behind, another man dressed in similar attire walked up to the mystery man. The two conversed briefly and split up. Dr. Albertson waited a minute, stood up and slowly stepped out of the bushes. Seeing no sign of the men, the doctor made a run for it. Coming upon a clearing in the park, Dr. Albertson pulled out his cell phone. He stopped for a brief second to dial. The mystery man blindsided the doctor. He and his phone hit the ground. The doctor looked up at the pursuer standing over him. The mystery man extended his foot and stepped on the cell phone, crushing it. "You don't need to do that, doctor, and there's no need to run from us," the man said. Dr. Albertson planted his hands on the ground and scooted backward. "We're not here to hurt you, but it's entirely up to you whether or not that stands," the man reiterated. "What do you mean? Who are you? Why do you keep harassing me?" Dr. Albertson asked. "Who we are is not your concern at this point. My organization has your best interests in hand, especially if you cooperate with us," the man said. "What do you want from me?" "You stumbled onto something regarding the research involving the novel supervirus. We just need to know that you will not go public with your recent findings." "Well, I have no idea what you're talking about, and what I find is no one's business outside the lab. I don't care who you say you're with." "Again, doctor, it would be in your best interest to tell us what you know. Otherwise, my organization will be forced to take action. It won't end well for you if that happens." The mystery man's partner came walking up from behind. "If you have something to tell us, then you can reach my organization at this number." The second man pulled a card out from his wallet and dropped at the feet of Dr. Albertson. "And if I were you, I would think twice about going to the authorities. Just remember that our organization has far reaches and can get to you at any time." The mystery man and his partner walked away. The next morning, Lain set out to his parents' house in North Bethesda, a town away. His mother, Sandra, greeted him at the front door. "I heard your car pull up," Sandra said. "Did you get any sleep last night?" "Some." "And Pop, how's he doing today?" "The same," Sandra said as she opened the door, letting Lain inside the house. Lain followed his mother down a hallway. It was a dark beige color with old pictures of the family decorating the walls of the hallway and leading to Lain's old room and his parents' room at the end. Lain and his mother walked into the master bedroom. Talbert, Lain's father, lay on the bed which appeared not to have been made in days. His eyes were cracked open a hair. Talbert gingerly turned his head toward Lain, displaying morning residue around the corner of his eyes. He looked tired and sleep-deprived. Lain reached out his hand. "Hey, Pop, how are you feeling?" "I've seen better days, but it'll pass, and I'll be as good as new in a couple of days." "Well, I want you to take care of yourself and not push it. That includes refraining from rearranging that dingy tool shop you have out back, okay? No heavy work." "Yes, Doctor. I can't say I'll listen, but I'll certainly try," Talbert said, winking at Lain. "No, I'm serious, Pop. There's a bug going around out there, and why chance it? Understood. I'll be sure to take it easy. Lain stopped his mother on the way out of the house. Make sure he gets plenty of rest. If he doesn't seem to be improving, I don't want you waiting. You take him to the hospital. I don't care what he says. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while, Sandra asked. Yeah, I've meant to come to visit you guys, but work has been crazy. Again, I want you to keep me updated. I will. Nearing the epicenter of the D.C. business district, on the outskirts, Lain passed clusters of people who flooded a hospital parking lot that had been turned into a triage. A mixture of what appeared to be sick and well people blended together. The common denominator of this group happened to be their ethnicity, primarily African Americans and Latinos. Same old story, different crisis, he thought. Lain turned down South Dakota Avenue NE, which took him straight to his office at the Washington Times. He walked out of the elevator and strolled down the hallway, leading him to a chaotic newspaper office. Since the initial outbreak of the virus, it had been the top story everywhere. Lain went to his desk and began to work on the Senator Dalton case. Gary Schultz spotted Lain from across the room and approached his desk. When did you get back? Gary asked Lain. Late last night. Did your source come through? Gary asked, referring to Lexi. Yeah, I think I have this asshole nailed. I haven't got a chance to watch all the videos, but there's some juicy stuff I've seen so far. Yeah, well, you better watch your ass on this one. The senator is a vindictive fuck. Thanks for the tip. Lain looked around the office, and all TV screens were focused on the pandemic. Looks like everyone's at DEFCON 1 around here. With this new bug going around, can you blame them? Just as Lain became settled, his agent, Fred Capstany, called. I received a call from the Tanner Augusta show, and he said he wanted to book you a spot in his lineup as early as this week, Fred said over the phone to Lain. We haven't even broke the story about Senator Dalton, and he already wants me on, Lain commented. Well, I sort of mentioned to his producer that you had gone down to Miami to follow up on your source, and you were close to getting everything you needed to nail the senator. Jesus, Fred, how many times have I told you not to prematurely commit to anything before I put the story together? I'm sorry, babe, but I see an opportunity for you and I just go with it. That's what I do. Besides, you've been in a little bit of a slump lately and you can use the exposure. This Senator Dalton piece has taken a little longer than I expected, but I would hardly call that a slump. Okay, babe, no need to get defensive. I'm just looking out for you. Yeah, I get it, Fred, but sometimes you try a little too hard. Listen, I'm close on this and the story will be done soon enough, but I still have to compile everything my source gave me before it's a go. 10 years earlier, a man terrorized the eastern seaboard by planting bombs in heavily populated areas such as parks, shopping, malls, and even sporting stadiums. Much like the Unabomber, this man eventually became known as the East Coast Bomber and managed to elude the authorities for years. At the time, Lain worked for the Washington Post, and they assigned him to investigate the story. 4 years into his reign of terror, the East Coast Bomber blew up a food vendor station inside a sporting arena in Atlanta, killing 24 people. Hot on the bomber's tail, Lain managed to be the first journalist at the scene of the incident. The story Lain broke at the sporting arena explosion made international headlines, and he went on to win the Pulitzer Prize. This caught the attention of an old acquaintance, Fred Capstany.